if we are, hello and welcome to Aurical Stones with your two divine divinationists. I don't even know if that came out right, but Auric Vibe 1111. Welcome to this space.
I'm just a cadet.
Oh, fuck off with your two divine. Echo. Okay. See?
Not on my part.
No, mine. It's always my fault. I told you, It's always my fault. So how are you? How you be?
It's been a rock and roll week, weather's starting to change here in Michigan, and we're just all kind of dealing with it. I don't know.
Why did you have to start with the weather?
Because it's been a big deal. It's been extremely warm. It's been really unseasonably warm. And I think that is worth noting. It's affecting people's moods. I mean, really, really. Hi, AZ.
Well, have a g'day, Arizona Raven. Hello. Yes, have a look at some of we had what has been newly named atmospheric river. And as the outcome of such river, this whole area that I live in is known as the Waikato. Let's destroy the neighborhood. Okay. So it is known as the Waikato, region. And in the Waikato region, there is a place called Waitomo. And Waitomo means sinkhole. Right. Now, which means there's a whole lot of underground cave systems running around here. And just recently, with water issues, now, if we didn't have the water issue that was going on for the last 2 weeks, it's taught us to keep ourselves on our toes and reserve water, and don't forget to boil your water. So if I'm having to practice these things, I would highly suggest you do the same wherever you are. And I went, in long story short, it took me to a location where a sinkhole developed. I've been on this section for 2 years, and when I first walked this path, it was just a little divot in the ground. So just like, you play marbles and you carry on. And anyway, I got called outside to have a look at this hole that had developed, and it's a sinkhole. So we have in our backyard a sinkhole after these massive atmospheric river pressures. Now, last evening, I'm looking out the kitchen window, and there's 5 chemtrails, including one being sprayed at that particular time going over the roof.
Wow.
Now, 10 days ago, they had predicted our weather to be a sunny day today, but it is raining. Now, one of the things I've practiced has been the white vinegar boiled. You don't even have to boil it. Stick it outside. Just stick it outside. If you're getting chemtrail weather, stick some boiled vinegar outside and see what happens. That's all I can say. But yes, it's been quite interesting that you brought up weather.
Arizona was out here in Michigan last week. We hooked up last Sunday, and she just put in the chat that while she was away, her place flooded, and there was a hurricane that went through. So what's interesting is that, yes, they're on the east side quite a ways from the Continental Divide, but it's desert out there.
Yeah. Well, that's some of the things I've been seeing, jumping through channels and, internet surfing. There's a lot of devastation going on the planet right now. There's a lot of displacement, a lot of distraction, so you don't see this displacement until it's on your doorstep. You need to have something in a bag just ready to go. You really, really do. Just do it for yourself.
She found it when she got back. She was already gone. She got back and was like, ah, crap, you know.
Well, that's the thing. We went out and we had a look at the floods because we got, this is how bad it got. I can show you maps of it, that all the exits around where I live, you can't make this shit up. All the exits from where I live, right? And I'm in the middle, closed. You can't go. And a sinkhole's opening up in my backyard. Okay, what's going on? You know, what's going on? What's the message? You know, and then I told you I got a zap. I got a zap. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but this is not all natural. That's one thing I'm sure of. It's not all natural.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, and my head immediately goes back to what Augie was talking about a while back, where they had someone who was living in California, and they were facing the very real possibility of having their home burned to the ground from some of the fires out there. A couple 3 years ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but he said that they got images from her after they did their meditation and focus on manifestation, that she was standing with her hair soaking wet and it was raining. And that was not forecast. It was not foreseen. It was not forecast. But they manifested that, along with, probably, if you think about it, it wasn't just that group. I'm sure there were a lot of people that were trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
So again, and I can personally attest to some things that have been going on with me and my thought process and my thought life and my focus on positivity, because of the, I'm just going to say, trials and tribulations that I'm going through, or had gone through, because it's done. I decree that it is done. Hi, Selena. It is done. I decree this. And I think we do not ask. And don't, Augie once told me a couple, 3 years ago, again, don't ask the universe, tell the universe what you want. And it's like, I'm going to up that game. I'm going to say, don't tell the universe what you want. Say, this is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I have. And at work, we have this whole department. It's called entitlements.
Yeah.
Dude, we are entitled. We are that royalty that are entitled to these benefits, this abundance. I am not abundant. I am abundance itself. Everything stems from us and within, and all that other kind of hootenanny stuff.
Yeah.
We're the ones in control of our destiny and our future, which is ultimately.
We could have
clear the freaking channel, man. Be a conduit.
Every single one of us on this planet could have such a paradise. This is the Garden of Eden. Okay, this is the Garden of Eden. And there's so many forces and energies at play saying, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. It's a prison. It's a blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. It's influences within this planet, on this planet, that we've got to go, okay, we can see it. You're not working in our best interest. You're not working in the best interest of the planet that we're on. We don't need you here anymore. You can leave. You can go. But you're not going to stop us from growing, from being the best that we can possibly be, because that's where we're headed, regardless of whatever they throw at us. It doesn't matter anymore. We can see the games and the programs, and it's over for them, and they know it. And when whatever it is out there, the space turd shows itself for its true colors, that's just going to be another nail in the coffin for those that need to go underground fast. So, anyway, that's where I'm at. Okay, look, I don't know what that little tap in the back of my head was. So if I suddenly start speaking another language.
Or you have an accent. You've heard of that, right? Where people, there was somebody, this is like, oh God, this is like 15, 20 years ago where someone really did have something like a TBI, right?
Yeah.
And she was born in New York or whatever it was, somewhere on the eastern seaboard here in the States. And after she had her accent, it was like everybody was, why are you talking like that? Quit putting it on. It's a really good accent. But really, they thought that she was pretending to be an English-speaking French. And they, through the linguistics testing and everything, they just found that there was something with her brain attached to, because if you think about it, a lot of the languages, they focus on a certain area of your mouth where you form your letters. I think that the English are in one part of their mouth, and some are very throaty, like German. They sound like they're always pissed off and ready to spit. I can say that because that's part of my heritage, but right? I mean, even the Celtic side of me is like, you're ready to bring it forth with substance.
Oh shit! Oh no! Please don't. See the images you give me. Then I worked in human sputum, and it's like, please stop! I can't find a towel. Yeah. Anyway, look at it. Yes, energies,
Sure.
energies. Oh, they're so divine. No, but when I see, look, my cat is scratching at the window trying to come in, and I'm like, no, I'm ignoring you. Go away.
We can't hear it. So my recommendation is to turn your music setting off, because that way it'll block it out, and you'll be able to ignore it. Nobody else will hear it. But I personally didn't hear it. But that's
He can go away. He's fine. It's daytime. He can just bugger off. He can go and play with the goat. Okay, because now the goat is playing. And that's been fun today. Already been headbutted twice. Love it. Oh, yes, I'm playing with the horns. I'm sorry, that's wrong.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you got it.
He's so awesome. He's so awesome. He's now gone from baby stage. Now, this is a rescued goat. Okay? It had fallen down a bank and it couldn't get out and it had been abandoned. And it landed on my friggin' doorstep, as shit does. And now he still doesn't have a name. So he gets just called Goat in answers to food. So, and he's got this, I'm trying to decide whether to weather him or not and turn him into a pack goat. So that, because if I don't have a horse, I've got a goat. Carry my bag for me.
That would be a good idea. Seriously.
Seriously.
Carting is very good. I mean, hey, my dog, even though she's, basically 115, 120 pounds of brainless muscle, teeth, and hair and bone probably in there somewhere, mostly in her head. But I mean, dumb as a post, but very strong. I have the bruises to prove it. But the Bernese Mountain Dogs are bred for drafting. People think they're guard dogs. She's a really good doorbell. That's about it. But they are great. They are great. Some and people, it's like it's just a dog. It's like, no, these dogs were bred for specific tasks, and that breed was built for and bred for drafting, not like maybe something like Anatolian Shepherd. Those guys are big, they're tall, and they are meant for guarding the sheep, and they will. So so they're all bred for that specific thing. But anyway, one of the things that I think you and I were talking about too, leading from the dog to the goat, not so much to the cat, not a fan of cat. You can keep your cats, but the whole idea is keeping control. Keeping control. I don't know if that's really the right way to put it, but really managing our lives and our thought lives, and keeping something positive, because it was kind of iffy with that goat for a while, and you were very concerned about it. And it's with an N, because Bern, it's not Burmese. Burma is in Asia, but Bern is part of Switzerland, the Bern Mountains. But yeah, so the but I think the idea of, now that made me lose track of thought. But you were talking about the animals and everything, and that goat was it went walkabout for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no,
And
no. This goat. No. This one hasn't gone anywhere. We had to actually put a collar and a bell on it for safety. The bell would scare away the hawks and that sort of thing, because when it's so small, I mean, it was still, it hadn't weaned off its mother. Okay, so I had to say, look, you want to survive, you're going hard turkey, cold turkey. Boom. Straight into grass. It wanted to live. Now it's playing. It's on a run, so it can't escape. If it escapes, it's going to end up on somebody's plate. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's that. So if you think it's wrong with me to put a collar on him and give him a little run around the house, you got to see how happy he is and how much playtime we're having together. Okay, so no, he's not.
Yeah, and people really take a license with we're the breeder I've been working with for a few decades now. Since day one, they recommended chipping the dogs. So all of my dogs that I've gotten from them have been chipped. Now, it did come in handy only one time in all this, 20 years or whatever, but it did come in handy, because when you're talking about something that is too freaking stupid to know which way is up, gets lost at the drop of a hat, that's probably a good thing, because these guys can't take care of themselves. Dumb as a box of rocks, but loyal, devoted, serious problem with separation anxiety. Yeah, she's right on. And yep, she would, I don't know if she would like protect, but she would definitely protect the home, because I don't think you'd want to challenge her.
Yeah.
At the door. Not gonna happen. She's charged that door before. Nah, I wouldn't do it if I was you.
Yeah. Well, this guy's already giving me warnings, like when somebody's driving past, he has to go off. If somebody's in the area, he has to go off. If there's a hawk flying by, he goes off. So it's like it's another alarm system. And when you're interacting with him, he's just like a little dog. Okay? He's just like a little playful fucking dog right now. And he's like, why is everybody else allowed in the house and I'm not? One of my cats, she's got her name. Her name is Winter, because we found her in winter. She found us in winter, and she stayed. And she plays with him. And it's like, you don't see this thing every day. When you see a goat go right up face to face, kiss the cat.
Sounds like part of a game or something. I don't know.
It's real.
Yeah.
That's my reality. That's the frequency that we create around us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We create that, okay, with how you interact with your environment. Everything is important. This is Eden. This is our Eden. And I, for one, I'm sick of those. There's no name for what they are. All right, they don't need to be here with us anymore. They haven't done us any good. If I have to say they gave it a 1% goodness, is because of their bullshit. I'm aware of what I'm aware of. And that's why I'm skeptical about the space turd. You know, you know, it's like I had this conversation with a lovely lady out there who has a beautiful dog, but you got to realize, ugly to me is the most beautiful thing that there is out there, because what it shows is somebody says it's ugly, shows how beautiful it truly is, because it doesn't have to be the same as every other bloody clone out there. Sorry, just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and I think having something that's we're feeling very light today. I mean, I think it's been pretty heavy, and I know we've got some astrological heavy stuff coming that's going to be coming up. We do need to maintain our sense of humor. Even if it takes wearing polka dot underwear, I don't care that if that's what it takes.
I mean, what are you doing wearing underwear still?
Hey, it's getting cold here, all right?
Oh!
I'm keeping it G. All right. But
G? Oh, GG's.
Yeah, G for Jesus. Yeah, I'm keeping it G.
Hi, everybody I've missed. You know, it's just what it is. But I appreciate it.
But it is a really important thing, and maybe this is part of the theme for this evening, because one of the things I had heard really briefly, and they did talk about the real sciencey part of it, and it talked about the environment that they were observing under a microscope with cancer cells and the macrophages, which eat the cancer cells, and they were real time watching someone, even when they had extracted, and it was in the blood, they had extracted it, they were watching it there, and the participants in this particular study would watch something that was really depressing, and the macrophages shut down. Even the ones in the sample did, in the person and in the sample. So even though it was outside of the person, so, and they shut down, and the cancer cells had their way. The thing is when they showed them something funny, they made them laugh, those macrophages, they woke up and started consuming very actively those cancer cells. So keeping our sense of humor is critical with, I mean, let's not be laughing at somebody who's like bleeding out their eyes or has severed them. So that's not kind of like appropriate thing you know what I mean? Now you gotta keep it real. You know what I mean?
If you see
it, go ahead.
If you see it happening, if you see someone bleeding out their eye sockets, you got to question what the hell's going on. Why are they hemorrhaging? Why are they hemorrhaging through there?
It was just so stupid.
Yeah, but yeah, my science brain kicks in. Okay, you can't do stuff like that to it. All right, if you throw it out there and it gets triggered, it's going to go down those tunnels. And I just want to say to Arizona, Raven, no, I like to keep them in the freezer so that, because when I get so hot, it can just cool me down. Yeah, I used to watch Marilyn Monroe too. So anyways, moving on.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's the best kind of medicine. It's it's up there, 420. It's up there, Yeah, it's like
that's Jason. That's Jason. I met Jason last weekend as well.
Okay.
No, eventually we might have to do that, Stone. I'm just gonna say.
I've got none to stick in there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Stick where? I'm worried now. What are you gonna stick and where are you gonna stick it?
Arizona. Anyway, look, we're getting off track here, ladies. So
there is no track.
Landscapes everywhere. All right, landslides everywhere. That's all I can say. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Okay, look, get back on track. We're trying to be serious today. What the hell's
No,
going
we're
on?
not. We're not supposed to be serious. Unless it's about laughter and humor and polka dots
I don't have
and
any.
not bleeding out your eyes.
Look, don't do that to my brain, okay? You know what's going to happen. It goes science on me. Anyway, who wants a reading today? Who would like a reading? Are you up to doing a reading? Because that's what we have come here to do, is to scare some people.
Well, some people like to be scared, and it is that month of scarendom.
Yeah, well, it scared me when I started getting back into this. And what happens? A male goat turns up on my doorstep. Yes, there is no coincidences. All right, here we go. So who would like a reading? I do, Arizona. All right, so I have today, last reading I did so many reads that my hair broke. Now, for those that are not aware, when I do a reading, I put in a new couple of strands of my own. It's wooden, it's hair, it's all natural, it's me. So I ask it genuinely to give me proper readings. So I have written out what I do is I do my form of divination. I use my pendulum. It shows me which one I've written up because I have a board I write up and I do the rune bones. Here we go. I'll get one out and I'll show you. I pull a bone, which are made out of chicken bones, and these are over, oops, that's not the one. They're over 30 years old, right? So you can see, genuine, real life, not plastic bone. Yeah, it's my magic pouch there. And then I do card readings, and I have animal divination, and I have, what is the other one called? It's like a cosmic guide one, but I also do bibliomancy. So I take the first sentence I see out of a book, and today's book I have gone from Carl Sagan. Where's the camera? There it is.
Yeah.
Right. Somehow I ended up with like a whole collection of his books. So, and then, so I've got the rune, the card, the book, the animal, and then the message. And the pendulum, which is also all organic, also finds who the message is for. So my first reading is going to go to Arizona.
Yep.
All right. Find me Arizona. Yeah. Oh shit, I don't think you can see this on camera, but anyway, I'm doing it on camera and it's swinging. If I come over here, I can still do it. Okay, go. Show me Arizona. Right. All right. Okay, got it. So, first reading. Do you want to go first or am I good?
No, go ahead.
All right. So for Arizona, I got Yule, which is it's another wood. It's another strength of wood. It's another wand. Okay, it's another wand. And in this wand, this comes from transformation, understanding. I call it inner standing because we don't need to stand under anybody else's theories or their life skills or anything. We have our own. So inner standing and letting go of the old and allowing yourself the new. So this is like a you're transforming, you're stepping, you recognize it. You recognize it, you're done, you're moving forward. You now are for you. And then the next one was the card I got without agenda. This is the I don't even know what that pack's called, but without agenda. When you are ready to love you, to allow you to grow. All right. So that to me already that goes hand in hand with the understanding journey that you are now in. You're taking an inner self acknowledgement, awareness that you count for something. So there's a path that you're on at the moment. Then we get okay, now that was from the book. That was from the book, and it's on page 333. If you have it, it's Carl Sagan. Okay, steps are now underway. So you already know the direction that you're going in. You've already laid your plan, and you're taking steps to follow through. And then the animal cards that I get, because I'm right into animal totems, as you are already aware of. Okay, so I got the bee. Now the bee is productivity. So you're very productive. You like when you go to do one task, it's not one task anymore. You're multitasking. You're doing 2 or 3 jobs in one go. So if you have to go to the kitchen, you're getting A, B, and C done. And then on the way back to wherever you're going, it's all those jobs are done. You've got more time for yourself. So you're working on self-time management so that you're spending more time getting to know who you are. All right. So that's what I get. And that's the overall message for that. Putting all of those together is pretty much you're already aware of the journey, the where you want to go, what your goals are. You already set them. You've set them in place, and you're taking steps to follow through. So good luck on that, and I hope I'm right somewhere. Yeah, that's what I get for you. All right. All right.
So I think overall, I mean, I started pulling this stuff when you were talking about earlier. This was about prosperity. And as you were talking, I'm reading the card, and the word that you said was allowance. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing.
Yeah.
By allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, and soul and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. And a lot of times it kind of feels like that we have all this stuff available to us. We just don't take advantage of it. Yeah. And we kind of forget. That's kind of like forgetting who we are. And that's okay if there is something that you need to, like take a pause or a break. But it's something that we don't want to. It's like when I tell people when they're in the middle of a grieving or they're going through a hard time, and it's like they don't want to cry. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm crying. It's like, don't apologize for crying. If you need to cry, cry. It's okay to grieve. You just don't want to stay there. But for this, it's stopping and making allowances for being able to be who you are and accepting the fact that you are abundance.
Yeah.
And I know you are kind of working, but this says retirement. That's the word that jumped out at me was retirement, and it is providing you some extra change. And it is not about finish work. If people think that just because you're retired, retirement, the definition proper in my alleged mind is that you're doing what you want when you want. If you want to get up and go work at Home Depot, go work at, the hardware. You know what I mean? So if that is your version of retirement, I'm personally not retired as of yet, but I'm close. Anyway, so there's also sometimes we can feel a little bit anxious about that, and it's like time running out on the edge can't wait no longer. I don't like double negatives, but that's what the card says. Time, it is not. This is like the illusion. Don't feel like there's a deadline. Don't feel like there is something where you're pressured. You're going to get this idea that something is pressured and it's not, and it's in your mind. And time is not running out. It is going to allow you to have extra investments. And that's not necessarily financial. The investment is in you. I kind of cheat a little bit because, it feels like I'm picking up on a couple of things that, maybe Arizona had going on when we met up last weekend. I think her life is going to get even sweeter than what she can imagine because of this. And it is up to her to be able to allow for those allowances, whatever that means for you. I'll eventually get back out to Arizona. We'll eventually get back out there, but that's all I have.
Okay.
AZ.
Yeah. I think when it comes to retirement, it's like, it's retire. So re is do it again. And tire is like, what tires us out? We don't need to do it again. This is the whole thing. We don't need to do that again. We don't need to work all our lives to find the fact that we want to do something different. We know we could grow in different ways instead of being stagnated in one position. So we allow ourselves we allow ourselves to go out there and do something that we want to do. Okay, we've learned what our value is, what our worth is, where our mana is. So if you go to do something, you do it with appreciation and acknowledgement. And if you don't get that reciprocated, then that's when you turn around and say, thank you for your time. I'm taking mine back now. And I'm going to go and spend it elsewhere. So
here's the thing. Yeah. So here's the thing too, though, for those of us who, like I said, I'm close to that, and it's really a frame of mind.
Yeah.
So it is 100% a frame of mind. The thing is when something starts crossing over into not aligning with who you are, it's going to get very difficult to carry through with that. If you're passionate about what you do, but your employer is less than moral or ethical or crosses the boundary of they're in it for a different reason, and you're feeding that employer's beast, then it does become very challenging. And there are ways for us to be able to do our passion without feeding that particular beast. And it doesn't necessarily mean, pulling up roots and going to a different employer. It means structuring your head, mind, and heart to align with what your ultimate goal is. And it doesn't matter what their goal is. You have to stay focused on yours, and that you are able to, and I don't like using the word manipulate, but ultimately that's what you could do, is change their perspective when you change yours. I don't know. That might make sense to somebody somewhere, but what the hell?
Well, that's the whole thing. When your perspective changes and you can see what's going on around you, you can you get put into a position, you're doing that position, and then you go, oh shit, now I realize what the position is. It's collecting somebody else's data, somebody else's information, their wellness. Why are they collecting that data? Where are they putting it? And why are they using it against other people out there? That's just regenerating another, less weller society, less aware society. And then you go, okay, well, I'm in this position for some reason. I'm here for some reason. I don't know what it is, but if I'm being allowed to see both sides of this, this is an opportunity for me to choose the side that I want to be on and do the very best that I can so that those out there don't get swept under the carpet. They don't get lost in the cracks, right? There's so many that get lost in the cracks because of the system. And if we are aware of this and we're put in these situations of awareness, then we have some strength to be able to redirect the current so that that person doesn't get swept away into those cracks.
My mind is evil. I'm just going to put that out there because I don't know if anybody else thinks about what gets lost in the cracks.
Oh, woman! Oh.
I'm sorry. It's just, you said stuff to me, and it's like, no, that's not what it means here. It's like, okay, well, it means something here. And I'm like, well, I'm not even gonna cross that bridge, but you know what? It's a cultural thing. All right, we're just gonna throw it out. One of the things that you and I talked about last week was the whole idea of maybe having a little more focus on newsworthy things. The hurdle I find with this is depending on where you're at, what is considered newsworthy. And I had some dialogue with somebody earlier this week about, some of the narratives that were coming up about this going on and that going on. And someone I know who's over in Europe was saying, oh, it's much worse over here. It's much better over there, much better over here than what, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got their perspective. And I don't care where you sit. Some people feel like wherever it is that you're living, this is the best place. This is my heaven on earth. And other people will sit there and say, I can't wait to get the hell out of here. I'm going to a different country. I'm going to a different neighborhood. And not, grass is always greener. It might depend on, I guess the thing is that it depends on not just your perspective, but keeping your perspective on maybe that's where the whole idea of getting lost is losing that insight, losing that sight of who and where and what you are and the power you have with modifying your particular
if you can't solve the shit that you're in, mind, body, soul, in the location that you're in,
yes,
why go and take that shit to another location?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, my ancestors came over from. I mean, it was just 2 generations ago. My grandparents came over from Europe. There were those village purges that were going on in the Germanic countries. They thought it was a better place, but it was kind of like, are you freaking kidding me?
Oh, no, they were hiring people to, look, if you want land, we can give you land, but you got to do this and this, jump through these hoops. And, division happened. And that's what happened. They went out there and they got land, but then they had the land taken off them. So it's been a setup right along. I mean, we're all connected. Oi, stop it.
So I guess maybe I guess the idea is there and maybe get some not solidarity that's not really the right word. There's something that needs to be more grounded. There's something that needs to be more has better footing rather than always looking up over here and up over there. I feel like that is a media play, if you will, for people's attention and getting them to say point fingers and division and derision and all that other kind of shit and shine. So what is it that we can maybe pull forward on maybe a reading aspect? Is that something that would align with your next reading?
Where do you want your energy to go? Okay, if we're all focused on the same picture, energy form, then that's where our energy will go. But if we're all scattered in all these different divisions, whether they're emotional, whether they're financial, whether you've got a roof over your head, whatever it is that they've thrown at us, okay, to create these divisions of energy flow. So if you can focus on one point of energy, that energy is enough energy. And I've seen this in real life. When you see that energy that you all can create, that energy is enough energy to heal each member putting that energy in. All right? When we work as a group, we can all put that energy in. And I believe we can do this wherever on the planet that we are. You know, I think that we can use this technology to do that. And then when the technology dissipates, and I believe that's very soon, because the satellites are going to fall out of the sky, and the amount of people that rely on satellite technology, we'll have to really speed up our telepathy, won't we?
Okay. You said something magic. All right. So there are a lot of things that I have in my wheelhouse that I don't talk about anywhere. And one of the things is the whole concept of satellites. The whole concept of, are they? So could we? Yeah, are they? Do they exist? Is this something that is what we've been told they are? It, this is not about other topics that other people have explored and say, well, if you're going to say it's flat, it's round, it's toroid, I don't give a rat's backside. That's not what this is about. This is really about the concept of, because I've seen far too much video evidence and done some studies on some of the other things that people have talked about outside of what they're talking about, setting these rockets up and hitting something. I'm not going to use the D word. Well, it's something that's there that and it bounces off, and they have like water sprays, and it's like, oh, that's just a psyop. I don't know about that. I really don't, because there's other things that kind of allow outside of that. But my whole thing is, when you were talking about that, was about, I pulled this as like conception. It's all about perception and conception. And conception is the frequency of conception invites us to bring our connections to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. This is our foundational, our core belief systems that are going to be challenged, regardless of what it is, whether you're flat, round, or toroid. I don't care. So the place where everything begins, it helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space, and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intentions. Focused awareness and intentions are everything. The great I am, guess who that is? Really, more accurately, guess what it is?
It's you. That's right. 100%.
Yep. That's exactly. Exactly. And that was your whip, not mine. But yeah, it's about the idea. It's the concept. It's so the whole idea of this thing called satellites. So I have a video. It's old. I might have to repost it, but it's what I captured something in the sky over my house. I swear to you, up over the air, there's a portal, because I see stuff. I've seen it a few times, things going in it. And one of the things was this, that, oh, it was Starlink. No, it wasn't. I saw it. There were portholes like this. They were shaped like an ellipse, not an oval, an ellipse. That's different. And they were all along, and you could really vaguely see this outline, and it was bigger at one end and it was bigger at the other end, and it looked like something that was transporting something into that portal, and it just went bing, 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 bing.
Yep.
And it was right there in the sky. I've got video footage of it. It happened twice, and it was only once I was able to get it on a crappy old phone, which I'm very pleased I have that crappy old phone because I still take pictures with it. But I mean, the whole idea is that this is out there. This is a concept and a part of the programming that we need to kind of dismantle.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm going to do a reading on that. Unless somebody else would like a reading. If not, I'm going to read.
I don't see anything. Arizona said my sound was in and out, so I got my little. I got to put the little thing up.
All right, here we go. To follow what you were saying. And I had to change pendulums because I broke it. So I have to put a new hair in it. All right, hello, my friend. Show me the reading. All right, then. Okay. So we get the first one on the chart here, and it's to go along with what you were saying. I get the rune is it's the beginning of bind runes, but it's known as Ingwaz, which is fertility, unity, and harmony. Okay, harmony. And the card that I got was You Decide. So give freely without expectation or return. And then from the book, Carl Sagan, and something is trying to get in my window, is nutrients while suitable in current environment. So we're going back to that, get it right in the area that you're in right now. So use that frequency that you're in, the situations that you're in, work out how you're going to get out of the situations so that you can breathe easier, so that you can have a better environment and this sort of thing. Now, once you get that right and you get all these other things done, you'll see you start picking up time, you'll pick up speed. And before you know it, all the decluttering that's going on in our realities, we would have already done it. We'll look back and go, oh, the cupboards are already empty and cleaned out. Good, I'm happy with that. I'm living on I only have the necessities that I need. That's all I need. So that's the nutrients. That's the body feeding the vessel at that particular time with the nutrients that are coming in from the frequency of that environment. Then we have the animal, which was the hummingbird, which is, this is determination. This bird never gives up. It's got a mission and it completes that mission day in and day out. And it's straight in and straight out. So joy is around the corner. So when we become aware, we make that decision, and no matter what comes up and tries to, say, distract us from that decision that we're making, from the mission that we're trying to accomplish, we recognize it. We recognize it sooner, and we can say, thanks, but no thanks. And we can do it in a way that is, if it's something that is emotionally attached, we can do it so that the person's not going to take emotional damage and they're going to walk away from it. They're not going to turn around and be in this at you, because that's stuff that you don't need to carry as well. So learning about ourselves in the environment and in the frequency that we're in, when we move to the next frequency, whether it's because of the space that we've moved into or the control factors that have reestablished themselves, or whatever the environment becomes, we already have dealt with, and it's under our belt. It is then a transferable skill. We can go back to it and we can put ourselves in that state and go, thank you for that memory. I'm not going to let that reoccur again. So that's what I'm seeing with what you got. So it's almost like it's happened in the past. It's a repeated pattern. We're at this age and stage where we can recognize it and we can see it showing itself. We have to take accountability for our actions, or we will be exposed.
This is a weird kind of revelation sort of a thing, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I got.
And that makes a lot of sense only because of some of the other things that are going to be coming up. So this is really a time about exposure and whatnot, but it feels like we're kind of on the tail end of the revelatory, apocalyptic, if you will, because all that kind of really just means is, like that tower moment. But the thing that popped up was, guess what? Facade.
Facade. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's to I don't know, that's like really kind of individualized as well, for me anyway, because there are hidden motives and putting on a front, but it also says something about being a people pleaser. I think that's not really what it is for the masses. It's not a people pleaser. But what it kind of feels like, these things are gonna start to be revealed. But if people continue to believe that narrative, that false narrative, that facade is gonna be staying up for you. The programming is very, very deep, and I found that out when I was speaking with someone earlier this week, and it was a personal, it wasn't a client or anything like that, and we were having this discussion about some of the things going on in the world, and they were convinced that it was this particular people group and it was this particular facet of society, and it's kind of like, where the hell did you get that? And they're watching someone who used to be mainstream, who is now this alternative media, not really a mogul, but it's somebody who has a lot of clout. And I kind of thought, wow, the programming is running so deep. And I had asked about, most people, well, a lot of people have seen where there's been the multiple screens of all these different newscastings, and they're all parroting the same exact narrative. And it's like, have you seen that? Have you seen that? And they looked at me like, crickets, totally went over their head. So the programming wasn't even worthy of accepting that concept of, are you being duped? Are you actually going to believe what you're being told? And this is important for us to kind of see too when we're looking at other things like how do you put it? It's like anything, really anything, not just other things. It's anything that you're going to align with. Check it.
Yeah.
Check it. Whether it comes from me, Stone, or somebody who's been, has tens of millions of followers. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Check it out. Because, if somebody tells me something, like somebody told me that, oh, the town that we live in, they're number 10 and per capita of most dangerous cities in the United States. I said, wow, that's a pretty scary thought. Well, considering some of the things that has happened to me over that last few weeks, yeah, I mean, I would subscribe to that. I checked it, and it's not accurate. Okay, so let's check everybody. Let's check ourselves. Let's check even the checkers. Let's check that AI that's telling us something. You can find different browsers to go on outside of wherever you're domiciled. Go to the Asian ones, go to the European ones, go to the ones in the UK, go to all of them, because they're going to report more accurate information outside of their domain. Yeah. So check it the best you can, but this is what it's going to take for us to break that facade. It's us. We have to do the work. We have to do that inner work, but we also have to do this work. Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
We're going to get duped again.
Yeah. Question the questions. Question the
questions. Yeah. It's not just the answer, is a question the question. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
You gotta work out where it comes from. When you're aware of your feeling states and how they operate, and it's like some people keeping a food journal. It's, keep an emotional journal. you know, if you can see the emotions lead to food, and then the whole gut brain and the brain.
Oopsie. Did she push the wrong button? Yeah, I know a lot about the gut brain. There's actually a book that was written in 1902. I had printed off on Goodreads, and that guy, he was I can't remember what his status was. I don't know if he was a doctor or whatnot, but he was actually making a correlation back, just like that vagus nerve where it splits is so close to the heart that that's like the other brain. They talk about the heart brain and the neural pathways with the heart. Quit pushing buttons, will you? No, you were talking about the gut brain. And the vagus nerve where it splits. Seriously, it has its own little biome, its own little field, and it affects the heart. The heart has a neural pathway, has a neural network that is similar to what is in the brain. And when those all align, all three of those little bad boys, that's where we really get that deep, deep connection. So I don't know where you were going with that, but that's what I came up with.
Yeah. No, it's like your fingertips are sensors. They know what you're touching. They send the message to your gut brain. If you're holding a plastic pen, it's going to say to your gut brain, oh, get the enzymes out for, breaking down plastic. We can't tell you what's inside the plastic. There may be ink inside, but we can't tell you that. But we can tell you that you need to break down plastic. So it's going to send out the enzymes to break down plastic. Next minute, I'm going to pick up. It's like when you're having food at dinner time, you're using a fork to eat your food, right? So those sensors are going to your stomach to say, break down metal, break down metal. So when you actually get organic matter in your mouth, it's already taken 20 minutes for the changeover. So from the enzymes of breaking down metal now kicks into the breaking down of food. But by then it's already half digested and it's gone into places you don't want to know. Yeah. So when we start going, okay, we got to listen to the gut brain, the heart brain, the brains, when we listen to all of the organs and what they're requiring and how we have to try to feed all of that so we get this harmonic resonance, we have to also create the environment for that to take place. So we know we need to have more oxygen than what's actually outside these days. So you start bringing in plants that produce oxygen into at least start with one room. You make that your meditation room because it's got more oxygen and it's going to make you feel better all over. This is your medicine room. And then this starts developing to a point where your whole house, inside your house, you've got copper cups, you've got wooden knives and forks, and you're using your fingers, and you've got wooden bowls and plates. There is method to the madness, as much as it sounds crazy. But if you're wanting to get back to your wellness, it's about being aware of the actions that we're taking. Our skin is a massive organ. It's not just receiving the information from everything we touch, we put on our skin, we spray, wash ourselves, whatever we're wearing. It's also the frequencies around us, the frequencies from others that come into our fray. We've got our frequency bubble. They get too close, boom, they step into it. Suddenly, you have information. You only have little bits of information. You don't know where it came from. You either like it or you don't. You're either attracted to them.
Arizona had a really good question.
Yeah, what?
Where did AI Atlas come from?
Oh gosh. Honestly, girl, my inner feeling, okay, is it is a space turd. Okay, it is a space turd. I'm open to all theories. It's aliens, it's comets, it's an exploded star, it's this, that, and everything else. But I'm not out there. I can't see it. I don't exactly know what it is. But all my feeling state says, and any work I've done on it, says it is a space turd. created by some sort of AI-generated past history. There you go.
One of the things, though, that we came up the last time, I mean, the last few times we've actually talked about it, and it came up as a facade, that it was a fake, that it wasn't real, that it was manufactured, just like that guy who was looking up in the sky with his telescope, and he was just this, this guy who was an amateur,
Yeah, astrologers, yeah.
astrologist, and he called up, he knew some people that were credentialed, and they said, well, he's going, these star maps aren't lining up with what I see in the sky. And these people said, what are you talking about? It's like, yes, this is here, this is there. It's like, well, look, what do you see in your telescope? And he goes, what are you talking about? I just look at a star map. Well, didn't you learn? It's like, no, we never use telescopes, we just use star maps. They just studied the maps that they were given. So people's programming are very, very deep with this stuff. And this is why I brought up, I think Atlas was sent out when Atlantis was alive, just my theory. Ooh, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I think Atlas was sent out when Atlantis was alive. And I have I have done regressions where with some people, and we've talked about it, and we both had memories of like the bridges and the waterways and the cities, and how beautiful and ornate they were, and that the things like the roads and the bridges and the buildings were living beings themselves.
Yeah.
That was weird. It's like, wow, what the heck is that? And she said she had the same thing.
That was the telepathy connection. Everything was alive because we could communicate with it. So
I think everything still is alive. We just lost that communication.
What we just got to take the time to go, hello. Okay, I'm sure there's a song. Hello, where are you? So,
I think that was ELO.
Something
like
like
in the 70s or something.
Oh, okay, find that one now. Yeah, I agree. I've seen it as an old technology. If you look at all the stuff on this planet, there's 3D printing, there's old forms of technology that have shown itself in artwork. But unless you know what you're looking for, you're not going to see it. It's like when I look at a photo of, when I looked at a photo of me back in the day, there was just me and everybody else in it. But now when I look at that particular photo, there's me, everybody else, and the orbs. But I didn't recognize the orbs. I wasn't there at that time, So it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's like these things show themselves when we can get back in alignment with some freaky frequency. But okay, so I got one for this. All right, I did it again, so we'll see what it comes up with. Now, this is the other thing is this is a blind reading. I have no idea what it's going to say.
It's good.
Connection.
It's good.
And the thing is, I've got to make sure that I don't bring bias into reading perception of this message.
Yes.
So this is what I get. I get one go. I like one guy, which is it looks like a flag or a P in the runes, and it's joy, fulfillment, and enlightenment. And then on the card, I get the beginning. There's still time to adjust or start over. So now we've got a reset. Okay, we've got a reset. We've got enlightenment. So we've got another coming. Enlightenment, the next coming. The next one I got was from the book. Look at the evidence. Oh, this is interesting. Look at the evidence in the Enumia English, which is 1,000 years ago. Ancestry came up. And then in the animals, I got sheep. Human are known as sheep. Innocent sheep. You are encouraged to reconnect with your inner child, allowing yourself the full truth. So we've got the child, we've got the sheep, which is the the masses are sheep, and then you've got the innocence, which is the unknowing, and then you've got you're encouraged to reconnect to your inner child and allow yourself the truth. So we have to go back in time to know, because it'll be there. And then we've got the ancestry thing, which also works with the go back in time. And then we've got a reset. So this has happened before. We have to adjust, or you have to adjust yourself or start over. Okay, so adapt or die. There is fulfillment and enlightenment. So whatever is coming is going to show fulfillment, joy, enlightenment. But we're going to be aware of the reset, and the evidence is ancestral. To get the evidence and ancestry in the same block. Okay, so that's right there in your face. And then the other one is, the stories. The stories are the fairy tales. They all hold an element of truth to them. So I'm still, and I can't tell you whether this is just my biased perception or whether it's from the reading, I'm still feeling that this is a generated ancestral technology reappearing.
So the word that came up was dynamic.
Okay.
And dynamics, continuous change, activity, or progress. So if this is a technology that is in perpetual change and perpetual upgrades, if you will, see what it says. Frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin, and different frequency. It helps us to put together a reality made up of many different elements.
Yeah.
Wow. Both familiar and completely new. What does that say to you? To me, that says immediately the word popped into my head was hybrid. So we are already something that has been going through perpetual changes. And what does that mean? That means hybrid. And it is both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and joy. So it's kind of like this idea of what was I looked up? So vigorous, energetic, powerful, strong, healthy, spirited, kinetic. Kinetic is movement, right? And high energy. So this is something that might have a spin factor to it that is not yet conceivable to us. For some reason, this is popping into my head. I saw, again, I'll watch everybody and don't really follow anybody. Alex Jones had some guy do an EMF scanner on him, and the thing on the scanner said that he was in these particular parts of his body, he was silicone based and not, carbon based. I don't know what the hell kind of scanner that is, but it was interesting. He's like, "Oh, I'm good because I didn't get the hokey pokey." But then he found all these things around him, and if you look at his, his background, and he had somebody else on there who was a Navy SEAL, and he had at one point they said, "Well, to monitor your body, you have to swallow this pill." And this is back in the early, like maybe 2010 or 2008, something like that. And so the guy did it. You're in the military. You trust your superiors. So he swallowed this thing to monitor their body, internal body, their core, to make sure they were going to be safe, for these, exercises or these missions. And he says, did I pass it? I don't know. It might still be trusting, and we are. I think it's better to be someone who is trusting than someone who is naive.
Yeah.
If you're naive, God help us all. I've been there, and it's a harsh awakening. So this guy was naive. He not only was trusting, he was naive to the fact that who he was dealing with. So whether we're all in that same boat, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I have. But yeah, it is the dynamics of being able to harmonize between all these different layers of who and what we are. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of how where I'm feeling where this whole idea of what this AI thing is, this AI Atlas. So AI Atlas is the software, and like
Yeah.
you said, it really does feel like it's ancient technology, especially if you look at some of the archaeological finds and the narratives that they're trying to cram down people's throats. It's something's not quite right. I would love to go to some of these, ancient sites and kind of check that stuff out. We tried to do that here in Michigan because they're everywhere. You don't have to go to a foreign country. Those ancient sites are right where you live. And the one that's maybe like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15 minutes from me, they have it completely enclosed. They've had that up and completely closed for I don't know how many years, saying that it was vandalized. What is it that they're doing back there for that number of years? Because I looked into going out there. I got back to the States in 2014, and it was a lot closer then. It was maybe like half an hour from where I lived. I couldn't go see it. It was all blocked off. You couldn't go see these petroglyphs.
Yeah.
And they have photographs of them, but you can't online, but you can't go see it. It's rubbish. It's still a pretty walk. It was a really nice walk. We had a really good time. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, don't believe them.
That's all right. I've got boulders around here with prehistoric shells embedded in them, so I don't really need to go to a museum. I just got to wait for the land to open up and
Well,
reveal.
these are actual reliefs, petroglyphs, like pictures. That's not like, I mean, I have this stone. It looks like a kidney, and it looks like it was like whatever it was. It was a kidney, and whatever was in that particular body, it had been attacked.
Yeah.
It was part of a battle, and it's the stones. It's a perfect shape, and it has all the little what you would see as a kidney. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder what kind of animal it was.
Yeah.
It was an exact perfect shape, and has knife cuts in it.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, are
Yeah.
we close to like?
Oh, we've done an hour. But
We know we're having problems with our tech beyond much past that thing. Yeah.
this is the third time I've decided to go invisible and then come back again. So I'm not sure what's going on there because I know everything else is running good.
Yeah,
So
it's all good. It's all good.
we can wrap it up anytime you want to. I'm good with that. It's a short
Yep.
reading. Nobody else has put their hands up
Nope.
for a reading.
Nope.
Scared. Chickens. Chickens.
Well, we've done a couple, and if there are any kind of ideas that people might want to bring up, any kind of recommendations or suggestions for guests for the whole roughshod ramblings too, that's we're open to recommendations, and that you can reach out to either Stone or myself, either on the website or through whatever modality you got handy dandy Andy. That's how I kind of feel like it. But yep.
And don't forget on my Thursdays and the rest of the world, you guys, on Wednesdays, I have a Hearthfire hangout. You can find me on Facebook, or you can send me an email message if you wish to come on and have we just get in there and we just chat and we just try to make the world a better place, right? Within ourselves, within and without. So that's what we do. Hit me up and I'll give you the Zoom link. Otherwise, you can find me most locations. I'm scary. I've got a couple of show interviews coming up with ghosty people in the near future. I love the paranormal. It loves me. I'm a magnet to that sort of stuff. So yes, I will put up the links the next time we have a chat. I'm sure we will be able to put those up then. So otherwise, thank you everybody for coming along and making this happen, making this an awesome place to live. And remember, this is the real way out. The real way out is through the Garden of Eden. And if you want to be here, no matter how you do it, and I love reverse psychology, if that's all you've got at the end of the day, if you believe it, it's real. So,
Yep.
aroha, and, safe journeys and fun adventures. Absolutely. Make
Yep.
good memories. Make good memories, because we don't know what tomorrow brings. And so thank you.
It's all we're
Auric.
taking with us, right? It's all we're taking with us is our memories. So that's
Yeah.
about it. We come here, we leave, and hopefully we make it a better place. But that is what it is. So
Yep.
I guess if we're calling it a day, I will see everybody on the flip side, right?
All right. Catch you all later.